Hey guys, welcome back to the CES Motorsport channel. Today we have another 2016 F82 M4 that we would like to share with you that came in to do some upgrades. This particular customer had a full bolt-on package previously before he arrived here and wanted to take the car to the next level with an upgraded crank hub and then E85, custom E85 tuning. What we'd like to share for you was what we ended up doing with the car, setting it up with a flex tune from 93 all the way to what we ended up with on E78 fuel. I'd like to share with you some of that data. Alright guys, so the first dyno graph that we're going to show you is the one that is right at around 500 wheel and about 587 torque, the red and black lines that you're seeing. So this was the base setup for the flex tuning that we did on 93 octane only. This was with the full bolt-on package. This customer had some Dynon intakes, Dynon exhaust, and some charge pipe upgrades, etc., exhaust upgrades. Typical bolt-on package for what we do for these cars tuned on Whp Mod 3. Obviously, once again, we're using F80 Paul to do the custom tuning. With the flex tune, we began with a 93. Customer wanted to have a 93 all the way to, E85 package. 93 numbers right around 500 and about 590 torque, just like we were saying. Typical numbers that we see for a full bolt-on, normally even stage 2 93 octane tuned M4. And then we went ahead and turned him up. We only got to about E78, but that was more than enough to get him close to 575 and keeping the peak torque roughly the same. But as you can see, the torque does carry over quite a bit more after about 4,000 RPMs, which is why you want to do the E85 custom tuning to pick up the additional power. This again was a stock turbo car with full bolt-ons. This is basically just the baseline numbers we wanted to compare to show you guys what a typical flex tune would be on 93 versus an E85, just in case people are interested in doing that kind of tuning on their vehicle versus doing a separate tune. Once we gave this back to the customer, he enjoyed the car for a while and then he contacted us again and wanted to take it to the next level. So we actually brought the car back and decided to really go all out with this one. He wanted a full build.
What is going on, guys? I want to give you a quick rundown on this built S55. So this is the F82 M4 S55. It has 5150 CP Carrillo forged pistons and rods running stock compression. It has 625 head studs by ARP. It has our built ported head with the Ferrea valve train. Of course, we are running the insane 2-pin crank hub. We have the Dorch high pressure fuel pump lift kit, EU5 direct injection injector upgrade, which is from the S63. For turbos, we are running the GC Max Vargas turbos, port injection with motive reflex and 950cc port injectors, the CES custom meth injection kit, and for the clutch, we are running Clutch Masters FX1000 with the upgraded hydro bearing. The customer originally had Dynon intakes on this car, however, we did decide to upgrade those intakes to the front mount intakes by RK. It has the complete cooling package from CSF, and then lastly, it is tuned by Paul Johnson. And those are really the main components in this entire build. The customer did decide to switch out the original wheels and tires, ended up going with the Apex Arc 8s in satin black, and then also a set of Nitto tires to make sure that we could get some traction out of this thing. Overall, a pretty insane build. Lots of moving parts, a lot of different people involved, and really no expense was spared on this one. The customer wanted his manual M4 to make really good power, but also be streetable, even something that he could just daily drive. I think that this S55 build is a really good middle ground. It's not a full-blown race car or anything, but he can definitely go out there and gap the majority of cars making over 900 wheel horsepower. And of course, if he just wants to cruise, he can, turn it down to 700 wheel. But nonetheless, we had a blast working on this one, you guys. Enjoy the rest of the video. John is going to get into some more data.
Alright everybody, the final day has come for us to get this car on the dyno after the complete build process that we went through. Obviously, from what you guys have seen, the full built motor package, driveline upgrades, the works, fueling package, etc., etc. So just a quick recap before we get into the numbers. This is obviously one of our fully built motor packages with 5150 Autosport. Thanks Ion for the Pro Extreme package that we installed on this motor. This is also one of our extreme ported cylinder heads with the fully built Ferrea valve train. This is our motor package that we offer for the S55, so if anybody's interested, we'll have that stuff listed on the site. This one also had fuel system upgrade, pre-R stage 4.5, plus motive reflex, PI 950cc injectors, had the Dorsch lift kit U5 injectors, and we also did meth injection on the car, so dual jet 100% M1. Pretty much rounds off all the power adders and everything if you wanted to know what kind of package this was to get to this level. Customer wanted to do the twin upgrade, so we did the Vargas GC Maxes to get to this power level. Also wanted to note that this is one of the more rare manual transmission cars that we've done, which does have an upgraded FX1000 clutch with the hydro bearing from Clutch Masters to be able to hold this power that we put down. So once again, we started this build with F80 Paul doing the custom tuning with Pro Tuning Freaks Boot Mod 3. The first lines that you see in red and black are the 93 tuning that we did. This is again a flex tuned car, so it's going to have tuning from 93 all the way up to E85. This is with supplemental meth injection. We decided to do the tuning with meth injection on. The meth injection is there for extra cooling and a little bit of extra octane, and just as a safety precaution for the overall power that this car ended up making, since it is going to be, utilized on the street. Power numbers that we did see on 93 meth are 733, almost 735 wheel and about 580 wheel torque. We did keep the torque a little bit on the lower side on the 93 tuning, simply because this is again going to be utilized mainly on the street, so we wanted to have the customer the ability to be able to handle the power on the car pretty nicely and not to overly stress the driveline, since it is a manual transmission. But then, as you can see, when we did go and turn it up to the E85, which actually came out to about E78 for this dyno session, we were right at about 885 to the tires and right at about 750 torque. So a massive increase, obviously, with the E85 flex tuning. So at minimum, this car at any given point is going to be a plus 700 wheel horsepower car from here on out. And then at the max numbers, you should probably see 900 wheel on cooler temps. I mean, we were almost at 90-degree temps ambient. This customer also is going to get upgraded RK intakes, front mount intakes, which should probably increase the flow a little bit. And we're going to actually show you that difference once we have that installed on the car versus the current carbon Dynon intakes, just to see what difference we can get with front mount flowing intakes versus the Dynon ones. So while we have the data here, and since we were able to do the full progression of this build from start to finish, the green line, as you can see, what we had talked about way back when we had the car here with just the stock turbos and bolt-ons with the 93 flex tuning, we were at about 500 wheel. Once we did the full built motor package and the GC Max turbos and all the fueling upgrades, etc., you can see how that number has increased by over 230 wheel horsepower. Peak torque levels, like we had said, are roughly the same at the 93 tuning level, just to keep the car happy. But the massive increases at the top end flow with the GC Maxes versus stock turbos. So this is a great comparison to show you what a fully built S55 motor can do versus stock turbo stock motor at 7,000 RPM. We're at 462 wheel versus 727 wheel just on the 93 tuning. What we're going to do next is show you the gains that we did on E78 in stock form versus built motor. 575, about 586, 587 was what we were seeing with stock motor, stock turbos on a custom E-blend tune, again at E78, and then the final numbers that we just came up with, the built motor package and the GC Max turbos. So huge gains. I mean, you're at 575 and we went to almost 885. So 300 wheel horsepower gains. Even at 6,500 RPM here, you're close to your 556 versus 882. It's almost a 330 wheel horsepower gain versus what you would see on a stock motor, stock turbo car with a custom E-tune. One thing to note is that with the ported cylinder head that we had included on this car, plus the GC Maxes, we're running only about 33, 34 PSI to get to these numbers. So you can really see the increase in the top end flow, which is why we like doing the ported cylinder heads on these built motor cars. Overall, these are exactly the numbers we were hoping to see out of this build. It's not overly aggressive. It's going to be a nice daily street car for this guy, even at these power levels. Huge numbers out of a manual trans car. Not sure if there are too many other ones out there that are making this kind of power, but the next step for us is going to be testing on the street, so you're going to see some of that coming up next, and then follow it up with some customer reactions once he finally gets his car back and gets to enjoy it. But overall, really amazing and exceptional builds. We were really excited to get this one done for the customer and can't wait to get it back to him.
908 wheel horsepower.
Yeah, like 908, 906.
How's the clutch feel?
It doesn't feel that bad. It just definitely needs a clutch stop.
Yeah. Car's hooking good and everything?
I don't know, we're gonna find out here. I'm just gonna do like just normal driving for a little bit.
Okay.
Feel everything out. Car a little warm here.
grab's good.
Holy shit.
That clutch grab's hard.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal. I'll tell you what, it feels pretty good.
Feels pretty good.
It drives smooth.
It does drive smooth,
It
yeah.
doesn't like...
There's just like a little bit of lag
Yeah,
in between gears.
You can